And the next topic today comes to us from one of our Patreon supporters, Jeff Bingham, who writes, and first of all, Jeff, thanks for being a Patreon supporter, man. Hey, John, major grain of salt. A rumor was posted that Alexandra Daddario tops DC's list of actresses to play Huntress in Birds of Prey. While the character was introduced as Caucasian, she is now commonly depicted as Afro-Italian. If the rumor is true, while it would be nice to see her land a superhero role, I think she'd be better off turning this one down, as her current level of star power isn't worth the potential backlash. Thoughts? Okay, yeah, so for those of you who did not hear, there's a little bit of a rumor going around, and normally I don't like to address these rumors, but it brings up a bigger topic, so let me get to that. There's a bit of a rumor going around. First of all, look at this image Ray did about Alexandra Daddario as Huntress. That's awesome. Anyway, there's this rumor that went around, I think it started on Reddit, that Alexandra Daddario may be being looked at by Warner Brothers as Huntress. Okay. So put that aside, whether that's true or not. I mean, who cares? But the question is, since Rebirth in DC, Huntress has been portrayed, her look has changed a bit. She's a much darker skinned Italian. Now, believe me, as an Italian, I'm a very pasty white Italian. I am not your prototypical looking Italian. But as an Italian, believe me, I got some uncles and relatives who are super dark skin. Some people describe it as Afro-Italian, whatever you want to call it. Would an Alexandra Daddario taking over the role of Huntress cause a backlash? Because there may be some people out there who think that maybe an African-American actor should play it, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say no. I don't think so. First of all, most people do not know who Huntress is. Let's just be clear about that. Most of the average movie-going audience has never heard of Huntress. So there's that. Amongst the segment of population who do know who Huntress is, most of them just recognize her as a Caucasian character anyway. She's always been portrayed as a Caucasian character. As a matter of fact, just recently, there's an incarnation on the screens right now of Huntress. And it's being portrayed, this is her in CW's Arrow. She's being portrayed by an actress named Jessica, I believe you pronounce her name Gao, Jessica DeGao, I believe is how you say her name. At any rate, so there's a Huntress on TV right now who's portrayed by a Caucasian. The important thing here, though, is this, is that because Huntress has been portrayed in different ways in the comics, and this is always the big thing about comics. Whenever somebody says, they didn't do it like they do in the comics, I often say to people, well, which way in the comics? That character has been done 55 different ways over the past 20 years in the comics. The comics are constantly changing things up. They're changing characters' looks, they're changing characters' backgrounds, they're changing characters' histories, nationalities, ethnicities. They're changing their backstories, they're changing their origins, they're changing everything. The comics are constantly changing everything. So when you get a character, like let's take the Nick Fury character, for example. So Nick Fury for a long time was portrayed in the comics as a white Caucasian dude. Hence you had a David Hasselhoff. A lot of you didn't even know that, did you? There's a David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie. Anyway, then they started doing Nick Fury as an African-American character. Okay, so then we get Samuel Jackson. Actually, they kind of modeled after Samuel Jackson. That's a whole other story for another time. Honestly saying, I think if they went into Avengers or the first Iron Man movie, because everybody knew there is different choices you can go with from the comic books. There are Caucasian incarnations, there's black incarnation, whatever. I honestly think if they had cast, I don't know, Ryan Gosling as Nick Fury, I don't think anybody would have mattered. I don't think anybody would have cared. Because everybody knows he's portrayed, everybody who knows anything about Nick Fury knows he's been portrayed different ways. So if they went with a white actor, I think everybody would have been fine. They went with Nick Fury, everybody thought it was great. I honestly think that if by some stretch of the imagination, even if in the 1% chance this rumor is true and they're looking at Alexandra Daddario, who is a very good actress, in my opinion, so she would be great. Sure, I'm all for it. You know me, any good actress is fine. She's a good actress, so I'd be great with her doing it. I honestly don't think you're going to see any backlash from anybody. I really don't. I think you could have an Asian Huntress. I honestly don't think people are going to get all that upset about it. I think you could have a white Huntress. I don't think anybody's going to get upset about it. I think you could have a black Huntress. I don't think anybody's going to get upset about it. With a few minor exceptions, yes, but for the most part, no. You know, it's not like you're taking a character, like say, take Black Panther and try to cast Ryan Gosling in it. Well, a character that has always been portrayed one way, and actually his ethnicity is very key and important to who and what the character is. That's different, yes. But for something like Huntress, honestly, I don't think anybody would get upset. Just because, like I said, they've treated the character in so many different ways. You know, being, at one point, Huntress is even the daughter of Batman and Catwoman at one point. Some of you may not know that. But, I mean, honestly, it's just one of the situations where I don't think anybody will care. I know I certainly won't care. I don't care what they do. It's as long as you get a good actress, I'm good, and I think most people will feel the same way. So I don't think there's any backlash there, to be honest with you. All right, let's move on to the final